Hello, hello, welcome back to my channel, Ripples by Gia. I am your host, Gia, and here in this platform, we talk everything about high consciousness and how to land it in your beautiful portal, your vessel, your body. And the element I work with is water, hence the name Ripples by Gia. Now that you know who I am and what I do, welcome. I am very, very excited to dive deeper in this topic today about how trauma sells more than sex in our society today. And I did do a post about this earlier this week as well on Instagram. I've just noticed a heightened trend on trauma and how everyone all of a sudden has become very vulnerable, very open. And there's a lot of conversations around, I was traumatized by this. This is my trauma, and this is what I do, this is what I do. And I have discussed trauma here before as well, but more in the sense of alchemy on how to transmute that trauma so it does not become your identity. But in society, in our culture today, I'm seeing a lot of podcasts, especially a lot of celebrities coming down and just kind of really highlighting the terrible experiences in their life and selling them to you. Really, like actually selling them to you and making you see yourself in them and kind of subconsciously and unconsciously creating the trauma bond. And also in the spiritual community, there are a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of ill-intended people that are posing as gurus, healers, shamans, whatever their titles are. They're basically just, you know, they're posing as false light. That's what I'm going to call it. I have a lot of other words I want to call them, but that's okay. I'll keep them to myself. But false light. And their entire gig is based on trauma bonding. And if you've been following my journey, I earlier this year I did a podcast series with Dr. Robin McKay and Elise as well on Bewitched series on how I had my my journey with a basically spiritual abuse, I'm going to call it, on how this individual used people's vulnerabilities and trauma and kept making them relive it and relate it to them through their trauma to keep them in the loop. And that's why actually I'm very aware of it. I see the subtle signs in people's posts, the way they speak and how they're representing themselves, their entire content. And unfortunately, a lot are not embodied enough to understand that when they are posting their trauma, they're helping others relive their trauma and creating that bond. If you do see a post about trauma, it should always end in alchemy and how they transmuted that energy and leaving you inspired to do the same, not leaving you with the memories of the trauma that you did not want to re-experience. Okay, that was a bit mouthful, but again, it's just I'm very passionate about this topic because I don't like to see people getting taken advantage of, and I don't like people basically harming others, right? Because that's one of the divine laws of this planet. As humanity, as beings of God, the creator of the universe, whatever your vocab is there, no harm intended. That is actually our law, our spiritual law on this planet to be here. We are not here for harm. And when I see that, it really fucking pisses me off. Excuse my French there, but it really pisses me off. And it's honestly selling more than sex. It truly is. And it's just again and again, I feel like everyone woke up to the idea of how the music industry, the entertainment industry is just selling you half naked women, objectifying them, and selling you the sex angle to keep you in lower vibrations of insecurity, your self-esteem being like low all the time, keeping you rapping and chanting, low vibrational things and all of that, right? I feel like people caught on to that. So of course, the matrix is like, oh, I'm losing grip of consciousness here. I need to reloop them. And then I, especially in the last 7 years, I'm going to say there's been that slow transition from sex selling, especially women waking up and saying no more. Like you're not going to objectify our bodies anymore. F off. We're not here for the male gaze, to then Matrix switching the programming to trauma bonding. Oh, people aren't buying sex anymore. Maybe we can relate to them through their miserable experiences and loop them in that programming. And they keep looping and looping you until you truly start to embody and believe that this is your identity when it's not. Your identity is not a victimhood. You're not here to be a victim. You're here to thrive and create and to alchemize the trauma. I'm not saying trauma doesn't happen. I'm not definitely not discrediting your experiences. We all experience trauma in different ways. And, it's life. Life is going to happen. No one's immune to that. Good experiences, bad experiences, it entails all, but we should not be identifying with trauma long term. We should be able to look at it from a distance and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. That happened. Whatever. That's not who I am. That's not my reality. But often people are wearing the badge now on literally their forehead and chest and yelling, like, I'm traumatized. Oh my God. I'm like, this and that happened to me. They're really making their identity and rolling with it. And it's keeping them in a lower vibration. It's not allowing them to move into the next level of evolution and create. And this is a really strategic move from the Matrix. It's not just random that every Hollywood celebrity came onto a podcast and talk about their traumatic childhood. It's not, yeah, it's not something that just happened. It's planned. It's planned. And also, if you go back, I can't remember the name now, but I did record a YouTube video slash podcast about how they want you to be vulnerable because if you're vulnerable, you're easy to manipulate and hijack. So, of course, they want to understand your vulnerabilities. They want to understand your insecurities because they want to loop you into a program where you feel safe in because everyone feels familiar. Because, again, if you look at even from a physical standpoint, our brain will really quickly gravitate towards something it feels safe in. Where does it feel safe? In a experience it's already dealt with or had because it feels familiar. New experiences to the brain are always a little scary. We're always a bit more hesitant to jump in. So the word trauma is being used as a marketing gimmick now. Honestly, it really is. And again, I'm not discrediting anyone's experience. Life happens and it happens brutally sometimes to some people, which is very devastating. But again, I feel like the angle being played here by the elites on the world stage is really pathetic in a way that they want you to just keep looping into it in the victimhood, which we are going to say no to. We're going to absolutely say no to that. No, 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 no. Because once again, they want to study you, right? They want to understand, oh, what are people looking for? What's grabbing their attention? How can we market to them? You're actually the creator. They're constantly marketing things to you that they feel that you will gravitate towards and consume. You actually hold that power. We all do as a society, right? If they're trying to market something and no one's buying it, they're going to stop. So next time you tune into a movie, music, a podcast is really, ugh, I'm seeing too much trauma bonding there. Even between the hosts sometimes. I just see massive trauma bonding and I'm like, this is not healthy. This, whatever friendship you have going on, it's all based on your traumas and it's not healthy. So Again, they're gonna show you what they feel like you want to consume. So if you are an individual that constantly feels like they need help, they need to do better, ask yourself why. Who convinced you you're not enough? Who convinced you that your trauma is in the driver's seat? So be very mindful of your consumption. Are you consuming trauma? That's not even yours half of the time. Your experience may not even been that traumatic, but now feels more traumatic because you heard a familiar story and your brain is kind of relating to it. So you may have unconsciously picked up wounding, which makes you vulnerable and more easy to hijack and manipulate. This is my very passionate podcast because, once again, I don't want anybody to get hurt in any way, shape, or form. So be very mindful of how information is being given to you and how you're consuming it. And it'd be a great time to kind of reflect on what you gravitate towards and why do you gravitate towards that? Like, what kind of content do you enjoy the most and why? This was short and sweet because, again, I just want to come here and do my part of what I'm noticing on the collective and how the programs are running. And if you've been following me, you know where to find me. You can always DM me on Instagram. You can send me an email as well. Ripples by Gia is the handle there as well. And if you need further support and you feel like, no, I still have a lot of wounds and triggers and just silly nonsense and interferences that I cannot get rid of, DM me or email me for an Akashic record reading session, because why not? And also, just I would like to highlight that as well. When I do pitch my sessions, I truly want you to get results in one session. I am not that type of, I don't like to use the word healer. I'm just gonna use the word guide. I'm not the type of guide that will guide you into a loophole of self-help. You have autonomy. You're the authority here. You're the commander. I will always, always strive for you to be complete in one session. And of course, if you're curious, you have other things, you're feeling like you want more sessions, you want brainstorm more, wherever that may be, you need more support, absolutely you can book with me. But my personal goal will always be to complete you, not to keep you looped in or hooked into sessions. I also made a post about that recently. So it's fresh on my mind. Okay, before I blabber a bit more, because I feel like I'm getting into the blabber zone, I'm getting comfortable. I feel like I'm having a chit chat with my friends right now. I do not want to lose track of the importance of the message I just gave, right? About trauma bonding, how it's everywhere and people are really selling the trauma, right? I love you all. I'm so grateful that you're tuning in and present with me here. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and you know where to find me. Everything's linked below in the description box. Please do leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about this topic. And if you have any questions around trauma bonding, I would absolutely love to answer that. And I don't have a team, it's just me. So if you see likes and reposts and comment and responses, it is coming from me. All right. And on that note, keep thriving. We came here to thrive, not just to survive. Have a blessed week.